In the early 2000s, a small red envelope became the most disruptive object in the American economy. It didn't contain a virus or a secret. It contained a DVD of The Matrix or Gladiator. But inside that envelope was something far more dangerous to the status quo: a data point. For decades, Hollywood worked on gut feeling. Executives in silk suits decided what the world watched based on intuition. Netflix changed the game by turning culture into math. They didn't just know what you watched, they knew when you paused, when you rewound, and the exact moment you got bored and turned the TV off. But today, something strange is happening. The company that built its empire on being a Silicon Valley tech giant is starting to look suspiciously like the old Hollywood studios it once tried to destroy. Massive debt, live sports, commercial breaks, and a desperate hunt for the next Blockbuster franchise. Has the world's most advanced recommendation engine finally hit a wall? You are watching Framework Zero, and today we decode the regression of Netflix. Netflix's first great invention wasn't streaming, it was the algorithm. In the tech world, we call this a feedback loop. By 2013, Netflix knew that users who liked strong female leads and political thrillers had an 85% probability of watching a show about a corrupt congressman. That show was House of Cards. It was the first time in history a TV show was greenlit not by a person, but by a spreadsheet. But Netflix didn't just want to suggest content, they wanted to re-engineer your brain. They pioneered the automatic next episode feature. The psychology. It exploits a cognitive bias called the Zeigarnik effect, our brain's tendency to feel unease at unfinished tasks. The consequence. By releasing entire seasons at once, Netflix transformed TV from a weekly social event into a private, isolated dopamine hit. They weren't selling stories anymore, they were selling time spent on platform. To make this work, Netflix built Open Connect, their own global hardware network. They didn't rely on the public internet. They placed their own physical servers inside local ISPs around the world. Why it matters. This allowed them to stream 4K video with zero buffering. In the streaming wars, the winner isn't the one with the best movie, it's the one whose video starts the fastest. Around 2017, the golden age of Netflix hit a massive problem. The competition woke up. Disney, Warner Brothers, and NBC realized they were selling the bullets to the person shooting them. They pulled their libraries. Suddenly, The Office and Friends, the pillars of Netflix's retention, were gone. Netflix's response was a scorched earth policy. They began spending upwards of $17 billion a year on original content. If they could grow fast enough and own enough original content, eventually they wouldn't need anyone else's library. But when you produce 500 original titles a year, the algorithm starts to fail. The data said people liked Christmas movies and reality TV, so Netflix flooded the zone with mediocre content. This is the Netflix paradox. You have 10,000 things to watch, but you spend 20 minutes scrolling and find nothing. While the US market was saturating, Netflix made a discovery that would save the company. In 2021, a South Korean show called Squid became the most watched series in history. This wasn't an accident. It was the result of the Glocal strategy. Produce locally, think globally. 1. Cost efficiency. Producing a high-end show in Spain, Money Heist, or South Korea costs a fraction of a Hollywood production. 2. Cultural export. Netflix realized that taste communities are not bound by geography. A teenager in Brazil and a professional in London might share the same dark fantasy taste profile. By investing heavily in high-quality subtitles and AI-driven dubbing, Netflix broke Hollywood's 100-year monopoly on global culture. They proved that the global South could produce hits that Americans would watch with subtitles, a feat once thought impossible by network executives. This decentralization of culture is Netflix's true legacy. They have created a unified global media market where a show from India can be #1 in Mexico in 24 hours. But this comes at a cost. local creators are often forced to follow the Netflix formula: fast-paced, cliffhanger-heavy, and optimized for the algorithm. In 2022, for the first time in a decade, Netflix lost subscribers. The infinite growth era was over. The solution? Ads. The very thing Netflix promised to destroy, commercial breaks, has become their new savior. By introducing an ad-supported tier, Netflix is essentially becoming a digital version of the 1990s cable networks they replaced. Look at their recent moves: NFL games, WWE Raw, live boxing. Why? Because the algorithm can't replicate the water cooler effect. In a world of fragmented streaming, live is the only thing that creates a synchronized mass audience. As of late 2025, rumors of massive consolidation, like Netflix bidding for legacy giants like Warner Brothers, suggest a final transformation. Netflix isn't a disruptor anymore. It is the new incumbent. Netflix started as a tech company that happened to sell movies. Today, it is a media empire that happens to use an app. The lesson of Netflix is that technology can change how we consume, but it cannot change what we are. We are social animals who want to be part of a moment. We want to watch what everyone else is watching. As Netflix moves into gaming, AI-generated content, and massive sports contracts, the framework has shifted. They are no longer fighting for your subscription. They are fighting for every second of your consciousness. In the end, the red envelope didn't just deliver a DVD. It delivered us into a world where our attention is the most valuable commodity on Earth, and Netflix is the world's most efficient extractor. Is the old Hollywood model actually better for storytelling than the algorithm? Or is Netflix's evolution into a global utility the inevitable end of entertainment? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you want to understand the frameworks of the future, subscribe to Framework Zero. We'll see you in the next deep dive.